Okay, so we're starting commas today. This is commas part 1. Make sure you have out your new Cornell notes. You've got it titled commas part 1, and your essential question is written down as when should commas be used in a sentence? So write this down. Commas signal a pause. Use a comma when you want the reader to pause and take a breath before moving on to the next part of the sentence. When do pauses happen? Pauses happen after clauses or phrases at the beginning of sentences. So, you know when you're talking naturally and you have to pause, that is when a comma would naturally go into your sentence. So for example, skating at top speed, Jenna slammed into Renee and knocked him over. Do you see how I paused there where the comma was? I also want you to notice that skating at top speed is not a complete sentence. But Jenna slammed into Renee and knocked him over is a complete sentence. So you need that comma to go in between your incomplete sentence and your complete sentence. Make sure you're writing down these notes. Notice that the part in the green is not a complete sentence, but the black writing is a complete sentence. The comma separates the two. That's what's important to remember. The comma separates the dependent clause from the independent clause. Once you're done writing down the notes on this page, you can continue. Alright, so I want you to get a little practice before you go on to the no red ink. Write out the sentences and put a comma where it needs to go. So you're just going to write out these two sentences, but make sure to put the comma in the correct space. When you're done, go ahead and press continue. Here are the answers. During the night, comma, Andrea snuck into the kitchen for a snack. Because Nityam likes puppies, comma, his mother bought him 3 for Christmas. Okay, so again, during the night, not a complete sentence. Because Nityam likes puppies, not a complete sentence. They need those independent clauses, those complete sentences to finish them. And that's how you know that that's where the comma goes. So go ahead and write this down. When are commas necessary? If the dependent clause or phrase starts in the middle of a sentence, you don't need the comma. So Nityam's mom bought him 3 puppies because they are his favorite animal. Now, because they are his favorite animal is not a complete sentence, but when put together with the first one, it is. You don't need a comma because the dependent clause starts in the middle of the sentence. Now, if you swapped it around, because they are his favorite animal, comma, Nityam's mom bought him 3 puppies. Because it starts at the beginning of the sentence right here, that's why you need the comma. Alright, let's continue. So I want you to watch me. We're going to do the first bubble, a few questions from the first bubble, and then you'll finish the bubble on your own, and then come back to the video when you're done with the bubble, so that we can go on to the next part of the lesson. So introductory clauses and phrases, practice. So add or remove commas if necessary until the sentence has correct punctuation. Neville Longbottom loves playing the triangle in our school's marching band. Okay, so this comma is completely unnecessary, so I'm going to remove it. Neville Longbottom loves playing the triangle in our school's marching band. There is no need for a comma here. Singing at the top of her lungs, Moaning Myrtle woke up most of her neighbors. So if you noticed, when you read this, there's a natural pause right here. Singing at the top of her lungs, Moaning Myrtle woke up most of her neighbors. So you want to put the comma right there after lungs. This part, singing at the top of her lungs, is the dependent part of the sentence. Let's do one more together. Inside the spy's secret headquarters, Phoebe Buffet learned about the upcoming mission. Again, there was that natural pause there after the beginning dependent clause and so I know where to put that comma. Alright, now you go ahead and try this bubble, and then when you're done with the bubble, go back to the video and we will finish it up. On to the next part. So using commas with adjectives. We use commas when listing adjectives of equal value. Make sure you're writing this down. So they have to have equal value in order to use commas. What does that mean? Well, for example, Fu has a purple puffy soft jacket on today. All of those adjectives have equal weight or equal value because you don't have to, you can change their order and the sentence would still make sense, or you could put and in between each word and the sentence would still make sense. The jacket is all of those things, so they are equal in value. And if you switch the order around, it would still be the same. If you put and, it would still be the same. When you're done writing all this down, continue on. So remember to ask yourself, number 1, does the sentence still make sense if I put and between the adjectives? And number 2, can I switch the order of the adjectives? Both those questions are really important to have written down. If the answer is yes to both questions, then the adjectives are of equal value and should have commas between them. So I'm going to have you practice. Identify where commas are necessary. Write out the sentence or sentences that need commas between the adjectives. So you're going to read through these sentences. The sentence or sentences that need commas you're going to write down and put commas in the appropriate places. Wilbert picked 3 red apples from the tree. Emilio has brown, wavy, short hair. Angelina stole one of Wilbert's juicy, sweet apples. When you're done figuring it out, go ahead and press to continue. So the 2 sentences that needed commas were Emilio has brown, wavy, short hair, and Angelina stole one of Wilbert's juicy, sweet apples. So you could have figured that out by answering the 2 questions. Emilio has brown and wavy and short hair. Would still make sense. Emilio has wavy brown short hair would make sense. So we know that you need the commas. Angelina stole one of Wilbert's sweet and juicy apples. Sweet, juicy apples. Juicy, sweet. Juicy and sweet. It all makes sense. It's all the same. So you need the commas. Alright, let's do bubble 2 together, and then you can do it on your own. Tinkerbell grabbed the metal fishing pole from the mermaid's hand. Okay, so here, I'm going to do my 2 questions. Can I put and between the words? Tinkerbell grabbed the metal and fishing and pole. Nope, that does not work. So I'm going to remove the commas and submit. Dirk Nowitzki realized that the dusty, faded map would lead him to buried treasure. So I'm going to do my trick again. Realize that the dusty and faded map. Realize that the faded, dusty map. Yes, those would work. So I need to put commas, but it shouldn't be there. It should be between the 2 adjectives. So you only need them between the adjectives. Let's do one more. Steve Carell steered the ship safely through the rough, choppy, dark water. Doing the questions again. Through the rough and choppy and dark water. That works. Through the choppy, rough, dark water. Through the dark, rough, choppy water. Yes, that all works. So the commas are necessary there, so I'm going to leave it as is and then submit. Alright, when you think you've got it, go ahead and start the practice. Make sure to do the quiz at the end.